Hello. I'm over here getting way too hyped. I am way too impressed with myself. And I'm very excited to debut the brand new intro. Did you see it? Did you love it? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? I am getting much, much better with the whole broadcasting thing. And yeah, I feel like I kind of want to pat myself on the back just a little bit. Reason being is that I actually had I had reached out to my video editor to ask, if he would create a little intro for me, and then I was like, let me just try doing this myself. Let me see what this looks like, and so I did. I'm very proud of myself. And I'm way too hype over here, to be honest, because I was trying to figure out what song would go well. And then I was like, let me just get, a little bit of Beyonce going. Let me just get a little bit of countdown going. So I'm really excited. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome. Very, very glad to have you here. Happy Saturday. We're getting closer and closer to Christmas. You guys have your Christmas shopping done? I haven't done any of mine yet at all. If this is your first time here, please tell me your name and where you are from. Super excited to have you here. I've started doing a lot better with getting ahead of schedule. So the funny thing is that I was just kind of messing around on the internet like 5 minutes ago, and all of a sudden I got the text that was like, hey, we're live. And I was like, wait, but we're not live yet. I'm not live. And so it's good because there's less stuff on my plate. So I, for those of you who've been following me, you know that I recently hired a copywriter. And so she's been taking on a lot of the stuff that I was normally doing. So she's actually scheduling my live streams, creating the image that goes out. She's doing a lot of amazing things for me. And hi, Kim Renee, glad to have you here. And so that allows me to kind of spend, a couple minutes before we go live, just kind of mess around on the internet. But anyways, I scheduled the text to go out early. I'm a brand new person. I am LaTisha Styles. It's nice to meet you. So thanks so much for joining me today. What we're doing today, so a couple of announcements. The Manifest Now bundle is coming soon. And actually, I think I had loaded the graphic in here. Okay, I didn't load the graphic in here. I had loaded the graphic in here a little bit ago, but I have been working on a manifestation bundle for you guys. So I've been getting a lot of questions about, do I do mindset coaching? Do I do manifestation coaching? How do I share, what my process is? What is it? And so I went back through a lot of my content and private client calls, and anytime where I was specifically talking about mindset or manifestation, I basically grabbed it, chopped it up, and put it inside of this bundle. I'm very, very excited about the bundle. I'm very proud of it. And I will tell you guys a little bit more about it as we go on. Okay. Nice to meet me too. Hey, Letty, glad to have you here. So once again, if this is your first time here, please tell me your name and where you are from. My name is LaTisha Styles. I am a stubborn believer in manifestation. More on that in a second. I do broadcast every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I teach everything from how to make high ticket sales and attract clients to raising your rates and having the confidence to stick to them. We also cover low ticket sales, creating cash on demand, and putting automated funnels in place, because every coach needs a bit of passive income, right? If you want notifications when I go live, just click the bell. And if you've made a purchase already, then you're on my text list and you'll get a text when I'm live. You also get access to secret flash sales and special offers. Yes, it pays to be a buyer. If you are outside of the US, just go to latisha.tv/free and download any of my free trainings, PDFs, or guides, and you are in there like swimwear. So why am I a stubborn believer in manifestation? Well, not only did I manifest my husband, I manifested my dream job, which is what I'm doing right now. And I'm in the process of manifesting my dream body. I believe that you can create your life, but first you have to decide, because your dreams deserve your decision and you deserve to achieve your dreams, but only if you decide to do whatever it takes to get them. I started my career as an investment analyst, quit my job on Friday the 13th, and decided to create my very own version of a lavish life. Along the way, I became an online marketing certified professional and founder of You've Got Clients, where we help coaches create and fill their coaching programs with high quality clients. My clients are known for using my strategies to generate 18K in 2 weeks, 10K in 10 days, 95K in 12 months, among other results. And that is why you are here today, to get on the path to getting some of those results for yourself, right? So with that said, let's hop right into today's. We are covering the 7 mindsets that block your growth. Hey, Yesenia, glad to have you here again. Ciao, Valentina. So glad to have you here. Hello, Gina. Happy to have you here again. This topic, honestly, so I planned this out. Like I said, once I hired my copywriter, my whole world changed. And so I planned out this topic a couple of weeks back. And when I first chose this topic, I didn't really know exactly what was going to come forward. I just knew that I wanted to talk about 7 mindsets that block your growth. I didn't know what the mindsets were. I just knew that there were 7, and that these were things that blocked your growth. So when I was preparing on Thursday or Friday, when I was preparing for this topic, hey, Robert, I was like, all right, well, let me start putting down some mindsets. And I realized that each of the mindsets start with the letter P. And so we're going to go through each of these mindsets. But before we jump into that, what I want you to think about and kind of have as your frame of reference is what you would like to grow into. Hi, Paula. So this is going to benefit you the most if you have in mind what you would like to grow into. And so let me explain that just really quickly. So if, for example, there's something that I want to reach or achieve in my life, let's say that I am, let's just go with business, because that's what I help you do to, grow your coaching business. So let's just assume that you would like to, have a flourishing coaching business, and you want to grow into the person who earns, this much per month or per year. And you want to grow into the person that has this type of team. And you want to grow into the person who gets payment notifications on a daily basis. And you want to grow into, you already kind of see the vision, right? So you always got to kind of start with a vision. So let's assume that that is what you would like. As we go through these 7 mindsets that block your growth, you're going to start making the connection and seeing okay, this is the specific mindset for this specific area of growth. Because what's going to happen is if you don't go in with a frame of mind of what area of mindset that you'd like to, or what area of growth that you'd like to help or that you'd like to grow into, then some of these affect more than one area of your life. So for example, one of the mindsets might not only affect you being able to grow into the business owner that you want to be, but it might also affect you being able to grow into the relationships you want to be in, the health that you'd like to have, the wellness and the fitness that you'd like to have. And so it's going to be helpful for you to just choose one area and then come back to this. It will be saved as a replay right here on my channel. Come back to this and soak it all in again, and we'll go from there. All right. Okay. Let's get started with mindset number 1. And I hope you guys are going to be taking good notes. So feel free to type in, and this hair has been doing this all morning. Feel free to type in the notes as we go, especially for those who are just joining us and maybe haven't gotten them all. All right, mindset number 1, people pleaser. Hello, Ari. Welcome. Mindset number 1, people pleaser. This one came up as a result of some conversations that we were having inside of the Get Coaching Clients community. So if you're not a member of my free Facebook group where we talk all about getting clients, it's a great place to connect. And especially since we did the 10K challenge, it's definitely been re-energized and we got a lot of conversations happening in there. Inside of the group, we had someone who asked, I'm thinking of doing this topic as a live stream, but I don't want to be polarizing. And so, there's lots of different comments in there, and I didn't read all the comments. I just kind of popped in and I was like, polarizing equals money. And the idea is that, like, whenever you're trying to, like, you can't please everyone. And whenever you're trying to please too many people, then you're not creating a clear message for the person who needs what you have to offer. So, and like, I was guilty of this. Like, for the longest time, like, I wanted to help everyone and I wanted to talk to everyone and I didn't want to. So I'll give you I'm just going to come clear with it and give you a great example for me. Like, my personal beliefs when it comes to like religion and spirituality is that I can blend religion and spirituality. Like, I'm not afraid to say that I put something out into the universe. And then there are people who are very, very strict religious who are not open to saying universe. Like, everything has to be said with the word God, right? And so for a long time, like, I hesitated on saying universe or manifestation or speaking things into existence without like bringing it back to, okay, but this is what the Bible said, because of my personal roots. And after a while, I was like, I don't have to justify my beliefs. Like, I can be traditional Christian and I can also believe in manifestation and like that the universe provides. Like, I don't have to be so specific and like only allow myself to say certain words. And that's it's gonna push away some people who are like, you can't say universe, you have to say God. But like, if I'm afraid to be polarizing, then I'm not attracting the people who are specifically right for me and my audience. So for example, we've got our live event coming up in January, Package and Profit Live, which will, the doors will open for that very, very, very soon, likely this week and into the end of the year. I'll be giving more details on that. And yes, this video will be here on the channel. And I finally was just like on the Package and Profit page, I was like, this event is not a good fit for you if you are afraid of the words manifest, woo, or universe. Because like, I don't want it to just be another event where like we're only catering to people who only believe a certain type of way. Like, I want to reach the people who are like me, who believe that you can blend religion and spirituality and that there's no distinction. There's no difference. Like, it's all the same. It's all energy is energy. And like, if I'm afraid to even say that, or if I'm afraid to bring that forth, then I'm essentially trying to please everybody, but you can't please everybody. Like, you should be like, your message is created for a specific person. And if you're scared to be polarizing because you don't want to push people away, well, then you're not being as strong as you can be to pull in the people who are meant for your message. Yes, exactly. You have to own your truth. There's a reason that you have your message. Like, there's a reason that I specifically grew up the way that I grew up in like a Christian background, and then found my way or like made my journey into where I am now, which is essentially more spiritual than religious. Like, there's a reason that that path was my path. And if I'm scared to like share that journey or scared to share that path or even talk about things the way that I talk about things, I'm filtering my message, and I'm preventing my message from getting clear to the person who needs it. Right. And that's why Gina's here. She's like, I'm just like you. Yes. So the thing is that if you are worrying about what other people think, then we got to stop that mindset, because that blocks your growth. But also, like, If they care about how you look or how you speak or how you act or what you say, then more than likely they're not being their true selves either. Because if I hear somebody say something that's polarizing and I'm like, oh, I don't believe that. But if I'm judging them, like, oh, they shouldn't have said that. Like, why would they say something like that? That means that it's being reflected to me that I am not speaking my truth. And so if I'm not speaking my truth, I'm going to judge other people who speak their truth. So the only people who are going to judge you for speaking your truth are the people who are not speaking their own truth. That is why you have to speak your message. That is why you have to get out there, because the more you are you and you're open with being you and you're okay with sharing who you are and what you have to share, the more that you're able to show people that there is a different way. Like, you can be polarizing and like, don't worry about the people who the message is not for. Like, that's the whole point, to turn them away. Okay. All right. That is number one, people pleaser. Mindset number two is putting yourself last. Putting yourself last. Did I mention that I got all of these to start with the letter P? Mindset number two is putting yourself last. And so this mindset, this is one that I have struggled with and will continue to work on, because the way that the way that personal development works is that, you know, you struggle with something at a certain level and then you break through it at that level and then you come back around to it at another level. And when I took the Psych K training, we talked about it being like a spiral. So like you encounter this mindset here, and then like you break through it. And as you go up, like you come back around to it here, and then you break through it, come back around to it here, come back around here, and so on and so on and so forth, right? So the mindset of putting yourself last is one that I've struggled with, and that like I said, I will likely continue to work on for myself. This mindset is essentially like you're willing to spend money, time, and energy on everyone else but yourself. And it's very important that I said money, time, and energy, because some of you are like, well, you know, I don't spend money on other people, or I never spend money on myself. I only spend money on other people, or I never spend time. Like, no, doesn't bother me, but you're always choosing to allocate your time for other people instead of choosing to lock off time for yourself. Energy, you're always willing to allow people to drain or suck your energy versus you re-energizing yourself and doing the things that energize yourself. And so I promised you guys, if you have been watching on Instagram, I promised you that I would bring you along for my journey. So, and tell you the story about these. So this is my Christmas gift to myself. And even as so the story with the shoes, and we'll unbox the shoes as I tell the story. Does that sound good? All right. I'm imagining that you're all saying yes. I know there's a delay. So, so the story with the shoes are, this year this year was very good year for me and my business, like lots of growth, not only financially, but like personally as well. And I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw one of my mentors, she had bought 2 pairs of red bottom shoes. And I remember like I was looking at the shoes and I was like, wow, I would like a pair of shoes too, just like that. And then as soon as I thought that, I was like, okay, why don't you go get a pair of shoes? And here's why this is important. I've spent thousands on this mentor. Like remember when I was telling you guys about the spreadsheet where I broke down like all the money that I spent? A lot of it went to her. And I remember thinking like, I was like, oh, the shoes are too expensive. I'm like, but you spent like well over 20, 30,000 with this mentor, but you won't spend $1,000 on yourself to buy a pair of shoes. Like, there's a disconnect. So I was like, okay, done. I'm going to get a pair of shoes. So I went online and I bought I'm not going to undo the bow. I'm going to put the bow back on there. So I went online and I bought my first pair of Louis Vuitton. Is that how you say it? Louis Vuitton shoes. And they were like $800. And I remember they came to the house and they were not the right size because I had never ordered the shoes before. And I remember thinking, here's the inside of the box. I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, these are not the right size. I'm just going to send them back. And so they have a refund process. So I did the refund process. And I remember thinking like, all right, I'm just going to let them refund my card. And then like, it was fun. Like I got the shoes, but I don't really need them. Right. Like I almost, these are the little backings at the bottoms that go on the heels. I almost decided to like send it back and just get the refund and say to myself, like, you already had your fun, you ordered them. And so as I was like waiting for them to, process the refund, takes a couple days, I was like, you know what? Just go to the store. Don't wait for them to, do that whole process. Just go to the store and like, you deserve it. Like I had to keep convincing myself, like, you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. Like, just go. It's not like, it's like less than 1%, right? Of, what you should be spending on yourself, really. So I want to show you guys the shoes. Okay. Are you excited to see the shoes? I'm very, very excited about they're each in their own little bag. Okay. And I actually, I went to the store and I bought a different pair than I had ordered online. And this goes with mindset number 2, which is putting yourself last. So this is me stretching myself to not put myself last. And this is my new pair of shoes that I'm very, very excited about. So now they don't even have the stickers on the bottom. Now I have a brand new pair of shoes that symbolize something for me, right? They symbolize for me that I don't have to put myself last, that I'm worth it, and that like I worked really hard this year. And even if I didn't, like, it's okay. Like I can spend some money on myself, right? So think about like, if that mindset is preventing you from growth, that means that you're willing to spend your money and your time and your energy on everyone else but yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed the unboxing with me. I am going to be wearing those shoes in a photo shoot very, very soon. And the funny thing is like the lady at the store was like, oh, is this for like a wedding? And I said, no, just my first pair, just a pair that I want to buy and wear. And so I'm really, really excited to, I'm excited to treat myself with that. And now I'm really excited to be able to say to myself, like, yes, like, it's okay. Like, you don't just have to spend money on your business. You don't just have to spend money on other stuff, on other people and buying other people gifts. Like, you can spend money on yourself. So that's mindset number 2, putting yourself last. All right. Mindset number 3. This is a good one. Peering and comparing. So let me put this in the chat so that we are all caught up on our mindsets. Because like I said, I managed to get all of these to start with the letter P. Okay. So we did mindset number 1, which was people pleaser. Okay. We had mindset number 2, which we just finished, which was putting yourself last. And now we've got mindset number 3, which is peering and comparing, meaning looking, peering. I told you I got it all start with the letter P, peering and comparing. So what this mindset is that's preventing you from growth is that you're watching everyone else succeed, but you're unwilling to pay the price in time, money, and energy to get the success that you want. So peering and comparing is you're watching everyone else succeed, but you're unwilling to pay the price, meaning the time, money, and energy to get the success that you want. So once again, this is one, like I can only bring these to you guys because this is what I have experienced as well. And so there was a time in my business where in just in my life, but like I was watching like this one person in particular. And I remember it was so frustrating because I kept saying like, I should be doing that. I should have that. And there was like this jealousy and comparison syndrome. And what I realized, I do too, Elena. What I realized is that I wasn't willing to do what it took. I wasn't willing to spend the time, the money, or the energy. Like, and I kept seeing the statements that she was making, like, oh, I spoke with my mentor and that's why I'm doing this, or I'm so excited. Like I just had a conversation with my mentor. And I just remember like I wasn't prepared at that moment to make that large investment. And I remember thinking like, I was feeling this like sense of jealousy and comparison syndrome, but like number one, you can't compare your chapter 1, 2, 3, whatever it is to someone else's chapter 10. Like you don't know where they are in their life. You have to kind of take everything you see online with a grain of salt, because just in the day and age that we are, like people are going to share the good and they're not necessarily going to share the full picture, right? So you're only getting this much, right? You're only getting just a little bit. So you can't really see it all. So that's one thing, is to kind of keep that in mind. But second thing also is like, they might be in a completely different position from you, but also like they were willing to spend the time, they were willing to spend the money, and they were willing to spend the energy that's required in order to get the results and success that they wanted. So they worked hard for those results. And like, you might feel the same way. Like you might feel like, well, I'm working hard, but there's more than like effort doesn't equal success, and effort alone does not guarantee success. As, Stella, you and I were talking about the other day, like success leaves clues, right? So it's like, it's not just putting in all of your effort, because if you're like working, but if you're not being guided, or if you're not taking the right steps, right? If you're not on the right path, then, you're still walking, but you're walking to where? Like you don't know. And so unless you're willing to do exactly what they did, right? Put in that same time, that same money, that same energy, you cannot compare where you are with where they are, point blank and period, right? Yes, 100%. You have to have that transparency. Yeah, if you think about it, like you kind of see that, Robert, especially in your industry. Like I know, I'm a competitor, right? I've done one bikini competition, but I practice for that competition as far as posing goes, like a lot. And so my coach specifically told me how to angle my body. Like I know what poses make my butt look bigger and my waist look smaller and make my shoulders look wider so I can have that V. And like in like the Instagram world, like those poses are very prominent, and like it can make you feel like you're not like, I don't look the same or whatever. But number one, like first, for some of those people, like, yes, they worked really, really hard, and there's a way to present, right? But once again, like they also spent the time, the money, and the energy. Like I'm in the gym 6 days a week. Saturday is like I have 2 rest days this cycle, but like I'm in the gym a lot, and I'm weighing and measuring my food, and I'm drinking water. Like that's really all I drink is water and like Monsters. So like there's a lot of work, and I do have a coach too there for my fitness stuff that I spend a good bit of money on. And so like I've spent the time and the money and the energy to get to where I am now, to get on stage, and even to get on stage again in April, which is my plan. And so like anyone who's like, even if I, do the angles and stand a certain way, like there's still a lot going on behind the scenes. But like I said, you do have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, like what you see online, because it's not always the full picture. Yes. Oh, I love that. Process completes purpose. I love that. Yeah, there's certain poses, like you definitely, know what those poses are. All right. So let's move on to number 4, which is preparation. All right. So this is the 4th mindset preventing you from growth, meaning you will not prepare. You are unwilling to prepare for your desired success. You're unwilling to prepare for your desired success. Now, this is a really, really big one. And this is one that I've never really had an issue with, because, and I'll say why, not because like I'm such a great person, but because one of my personal strengths is vision, and I'm willing to like put things in place based on a vision that I see, even if that vision is not in the here and now. And I think this is likely one of the reasons that I have created a successful business, is because before the business was where it is now, like I envisioned this and I fought so hard for myself and for, you know, where I was at the time. Like I fought really, really hard, and I stood firm and held that vision because I saw it coming. But if preparation and lack of preparation is a mindset that's holding you back, that means that you're unwilling to prepare for what you desire. Like you're not willing to prepare for your desired success. I do know, Stella. We got good things coming. So like my question to you is, if you knew it were coming, it meaning your desired success, the thing that you've already envisioned, the thing that you see in your mind's eye, what action would you already be taking? So as an example, I remember the first time I created a multi 5-figure coaching package, or let's say call it 5-figure. It was the first time I created a 5-figure coaching package. Right now I have a multi 5-figure coaching package. And I remember thinking like, this price is likely too high for a credit card transaction. It needs to be completed with a wire. So I started thinking like, oh, okay, in that case, I need to have wiring instructions prepared. Like, I don't want to sign a client and then like start scrambling to figure out what are the wiring. Like, does my bank even allow me my business checking account? Do they even allow me to accept wires? How would I do that? And so this entire exercise led me to, number one, switching banks, because the bank that I previously had, which was Capital One Business Checking, which they don't even offer anymore, they didn't allow me to do wires in, wires out. It was really weird how it was set up. Like, why would a bank not allow wires? Like I said, they don't even do that anymore. So I ended up switching. Hey, Cammie. I ended up switching to where I am now, which is Navy Federal. And I created a page that was like, here are the wiring instructions. Now, long story short, I did not actually have to use those wiring instructions because I was able to use QuickBooks to send an invoice for the client that did sign up. I was prepared though, for the client who did sign up for my 5-figure coaching package, and she just did an ACH transfer with a QuickBooks invoice. But my point is that if you already know that it's coming, if you know the thing that you want is coming, what action would you be taking? Like, some of you don't have a way to accept payments at all, but you want to book clients. There's a disconnect, right? Lack of preparation is a mindset that's going to prevent you from growth. Like, if this is what you truly desire and you know it's coming, what do you need to have in place already? Some of you don't have a coaching contract, which is why I have that inside of, Create and Fill Your Coaching program. I have a template in there anyways, because I can't give legal advice, but like, some of you are not even, you're not prepared for your desired manifestation. Like, you're not prepared for the success that you want. And so it baffles me. Like, if this is what you want, why aren't you preparing for it? Why aren't you getting ready for it? It does remind me of the story. It was like a parable in the Bible, where I don't remember the exact story, but like, they were pouring oil in their lamps to prepare. And then there was someone who like didn't have oil in their lamps. And so when it was time to go, they were like, oh, wait, I got to go get my oil. And then the opportunity passed them by. Like I said, I don't remember the exact story. My mom will remember it. But like, the opportunity had passed them by. Meanwhile, the people who had oil were ready to go. And then they went. So like, if you are expecting or desiring something, but you are not preparing for it, then you are literally blocking your growth. And you're the one that's in the way of that. Yes. But we fixed all of that. Thank you, LaKenya. Yes, the parable of the 5 wise and 5 foolish women. And 5 of them had their oil prepared in their lamps, and they were ready to go at night because they didn't know when basically the train was going to be coming. There's no trains back then, but like they didn't know when they were going to have to leave, but they prepared their oil. And then the women who didn't, the 5 foolish women who didn't have their lamps filled, they were like trying to figure out what to do. Cami said she's never heard that story before. So let me, Matthew 25, 16, 25. Let me just copy and paste. Okay. I don't know if this is the whole thing is going to come through. Okay. It's Matthew 25, verse 1 through 13. I just went to Google. Okay. From Jesus to warn listeners to be spiritually prepared. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them are wise and 5 of them are foolish. So if you'd like to continue reading that story, that's where you can go. Matthew 25, 1 through 13. And so like it's in the Bible, y'all. So it's got to be true, right? So this is one of the mindsets that will block your growth. If you're not prepared for what you desire, what you expect to come, like what are you even doing? Okay. All right. Mindset number 5 is perfection. Mindset number 5, perfection. So if you're just joining us, we're covering the 7 mindsets that block your growth. 1 was people pleaser. Let me see if I can go back to that comment and feature it. Here it is. All right. So here was the first mindset, people pleaser. Second mindset, blocking your growth, putting yourself last. And we did an unboxing. So if you missed that, you can scrub back. Third mindset was peering and comparing. And Elena says she loved the alliteration. 4 was preparation or lack of preparation. And 5 is perfection. Okay. So perfection meaning like you won't bring what you have to give. And this is a conversation that we actually had inside of my coaching program this week, where the way that I operate my coaching program is that we do have a lot of, like, there's a lot of pieces required to put together a full start to finish funnel, which is essentially what I'm helping my clients do. We do a lot of mindset work along the way, but really what my goal is for each client is to I want them to have a coaching business that runs like a well-oiled machine. In order to get there, there's a lot of different pieces that we have to put in place. And what I've found over the years of doing this and working with several clients is that many times clients want things to be like 100% perfect or 100% done because that's what we're taught at work. That's what we're taught at school is like, don't turn it in until you're satisfied with it. However, in business, what I've learned, what works best is essentially failing forward and being willing to put something out there, test it, tweak it, and then go from there. So what I often tell clients is like, and I warn them, I'm like, I don't want it to be perfect. Our goal is to get it done. I will review it. I will get it back to you, and then we will edit it and go from there. And so we had this conversation on one of our coaching calls where, someone was kind of hesitating to turn in a piece of the homework. And I just reminded her like, hey, don't worry about making it perfect. Like, give me what you have so that we can take a look at it and I'll tell you where to go next. Because the problem with perfection is that like, you might think it's perfect, but especially if you're working with someone who knows what they're looking for, like you could spend all this time getting it to like, it's perfect, it's ready, it's perfect, it's ready. And then you get a review and it's like, actually like you missed like 60 to 70% of what was supposed to be done. And now you're frustrated and upset because you have to go do it again. Instead, why not work together along the way? And this applies for whether you're turning something in to, a mentor for review, or if you're like running a Facebook ad, like just put the crap out there. I just recently hired a Facebook ads, hired out my Facebook ads management and YouTube ads management as well. So if you happen to see either one, screenshot it. So I'll know where it's actually showing and that you saw it, and then just tag me on Instagram. But like the first ads that they put out, I was like, this is not what I would create. but I don't know if they're going to work. So, hey, why not? Like, I'm buying data. We're testing it out and we're seeing, and they started running it. And all of a sudden, like 7 times return on ad spend, like right out the gate. And I'm like, wow, okay. And then they turned off it's hands off. I'm not touching any of it. They turned off the things that weren't working, and they messaged me the other day. They're like, hey, we're going to test out these audiences. I'm like, okay, great. So don't be afraid to fail. You're so afraid to fail. You want everything to be so perfect that you're not even getting started, and you're not even putting out there and bringing what you have to give. Your message is not going to be perfect the first time you deliver it. Your tagline is not going to be perfect. Your website is not going to be perfect. I've changed my website like 4 or 5 different times, changed my message 4 or 5 different times. If you check but the core message is still the same, right? That you can create what you desire. Like if you go to some of my content, like even if you go in the Manifest Now bundle, I pulled some recordings that I did from a few years ago when my business was called Creating Coins. And like, I talk about the Creating Coins Mastermind. I'm like, well, that's not still available. Like, should I cut that off? And I'm like, no, because it's still good content. And not only does it show you, not only is the content great, but it also shows you how I transition into a sale. Because at the end of every single one of those audios, I say, here's how you can join us in the mastermind, and actually do like a mini pitch. So it's valuable. And I'm not going to like try to edit it or filter it or be like, oh, like, but I was talking about something else then, like, is that going to confuse them? Like, no, like the people, like your message is for your people, and your people will understand it. So you don't have to worry about that. Like, stop trying to be so perfect at everything and just bring what you have to give. Bring what you have to give. Be open and okay with bringing what you have to give. Okay. And the example that I have here is like, don't worry about what is half done or what is not quite perfect. So I've sold over 1,000 copies of, and let me actually like get the actual number. And that's what I meant to do when I put that note. But I sold over 1,000 copies of a program called Package and Profit. Okay. Package and Profit started out as a 4-part live stream series that I did on YouTube. On Periscope for free. That was like, it was not perfect. The quality of it was like not great. So we sold 1,037 copies to date of this one program. And that includes the people who bought it when it was just videos that I had downloaded from Periscope. Before I went and re-recorded it and added all the nice looking worksheets, stuff like that. Stop trying to be so perfect and get your message out there. Like the message that program delivered is a very powerful one, which is why it gets purchased over and over and over again. And I wasn't afraid to just put it out there before it was ready. Okay. All right. Perfect. Stella says, well, I submitted my story yesterday and I'm already halfway through rewriting it over. Yep. You will come back around to it. You'll keep editing it. You'll keep adjusting it. More things will come to light for you. And what I like to do is, especially when I'm writing content, sales page, email, whatever, I like to write it out and then kind of let it percolate and like marinate, let it marinate. And then I like coming back to it. Estella says, if anyone's on here, please hear me now. This program is just what you need to get your business and mind shifted. Thank you, Estella. Appreciate that. Hello, G Money Man. Thanks for joining from Periscope. Is this included in the Path to Six Figure program, the ad data program? So in the Path to Six Figures, it covers setting up your entire funnel, and then we run your ads for you if you choose the tech package. If you don't choose the tech package, then you'll be running your own ads. However, in order to enroll in the program, it does require an application and a phone call. And I will not allow anyone to purchase the base package if I know that they don't know how to run ads or have never done it before, or they're going to be like floundering around. So for some people, the tech package is the only option. And I do that because every single person that comes through this program is going to have a solid coaching business, like through hell or high water, who we're going to do it together. All right. So that is mindset number 5. All right, good. We're making good time. All right. So let's move to mindset number 6, and we'll kind of lighten it up just a little bit. Mindset number 6 that is preventing you from growth is the mindset that, okay, let's just say playful, right? So you think everything has to be serious. And like a lot of times, like we forget how much fun life was as a kid. Like, do you remember when you had no other obligations and the only thing you really had to think about was like what cartoon you were going to watch on Saturday morning? When you got to wake up, you didn't have to like jump right out of bed, take a shower, like you were still in your PJs. Your breath probably was still stinking. You went downstairs, you grabbed your cereal, poured it in your bowl, put your milk in there, you turned the TV on and you started eating all that sugar cereal. Some people didn't do that. I remember my mom used to make us pancakes on Saturday mornings. And I think that's why I love pancakes so much, because like as a child, Saturday meant pancakes, and my mom would put like a little dab of butter on the middle square, and then she would cut them up into squares for us. And I remember like eating that middle square was like heaven on earth. It was such bliss because it was like buttery and sugary and like, oh, hot. It was so good. And I still love pancakes to this day, even though I don't eat them as often as I used to. But I found a way to fit waffles into my daily routine where I mix like oats, egg whites, and banana, and I make a high protein breakfast. But like a lot of times, like we forget how fun life was as a kid. And the thing is that like people never really grow up. They just learn how to act in public. So let's say that one more time. You never really grow up. You just learn how to act in public. And that's part of what our parents were teaching us and our schools were teaching us, is like how to behave in society, how to act in public, how to respond to people, how to, right? And so like, you're still silly. Like you still have that personality you had as a kid. Like you don't lose it because you're an adult. You just mask it and you just hide it. And the thing is like, if you want business to be easy, if you want to grow easily, if you want to reach your goals easily, you need to bring that playfulness back into your business. When I first started doing this was when I was doing my personal finance blog and I first started my YouTube videos. My very first YouTube video was like, hey, hi guys, like I'm starting a YouTube channel. I'm very excited for y'all to be here. Let me know what you like to hear. And like, even like my shoulders were all like down or whatnot. And, and then like I created these YouTube videos that were fun, and I started including like dancing and like joking and like doing all the things that like, I like making my family laugh. Like I like, you know, I love making people laugh and making people smile. Like that makes me so happy. If I'm like, I can make you laugh, I can make you smile, we're laughing together. Like I feel so good. And I started bringing those into my YouTube videos. Long story short, PNC Bank found one of my YouTube videos, or at least the marketing company that was working with PNC Bank. And they reached out to me and they said, we found you on YouTube. We think that you have a great personality and we would love for you to work on some videos for our client, for PNC. We'd love you to work on some videos and we're going to fly you out to New York. You know, they didn't say they were going to do all this, but this is what they did. Makeup artist. We did a professional shoot. There was a director that was like, all right, action. Like, I love that experience. And I never would have had that experience. I likely never would have had that experience if I was still being like, trying to be corporate Tish, right? And instead of me bringing forward my playful personality and bringing that into business. So if you're not already bringing forward what you have to give and bringing forward your personality, then you're really holding yourself back. Yes, Estella is not on the payroll. But mark my words. So this is December 19th, 2020. You guys will see her success call before December 19th, 2021, way before then. And I'm gonna speak that now. And we both know we're working towards something great. So I'm very, very excited. Elaine says we have pancakes on Saturday mornings. Yeah, didn't that feel good to like have those pancakes and like feel really good about it? My mom used to do that in the squares. Yes. So, okay. So it wasn't just me. So that must be like that must be a mom thing, that they love you, right? I was talking about the Path to Six Figures program. So if you guys are on my email list or you've been seeing any of my Instagram posts lately, right now I'm enrolling for the Path to Six Figures coaching program. It's a 12-month container that includes a 90-day sprint. You might call it a 90-day accelerator or 90-day launch plan, or basically what we're doing is like you're getting support for the entire year of 2021. But in the first basically 3 months, we're going to like put every minimum viable, right? So we're put all the stuff that we need to put in place so that you can hit the ground running as soon as possible. My sister just called me again, so I'm just going to say on a live stream. So that's the Path to Six Figures. If you'd like more details on that, all you have to do is message me, or if you click the link, it's in the description that says like private mentoring or something like that. Like just reply back to any of the emails, message me, send me a Facebook message, whatnot. Okay. Yeah, my husband and I, we like joke around, play around all the time, especially when it's just like me and him. Like we're like big kids, basically. Gina says, are you sure you're not my sister from another dimension? Very likely. Very, very likely. Stella says, I'm over here cracking up because me and my kids just did a TikTok with me. Thank you for helping me get to six figures when they dash on and I wake up. Oh, I can't wait to see that. How can I see that? I'm not on TikTok. Help me figure out how I can see that. Send me the link or post it on Instagram, tag me, whatever it is. I would love to see that. All right, let's get to the 7th mindset. Are you guys enjoying this so far? And then we'll go to the 7th mindset, preventing you from success. And let me scroll up really quick and get to, we're going to recap really quick. So mindset number 1, 7 mindsets preventing you from growth. Mindset number 1, people pleaser. Okay. Mindset number 2, putting yourself last. Mindset number 3, peering and comparing. Mindset number 4, lack of preparation. Mindset number 5, desire for perfection, so that you're unwilling to even put out what you got to give. Mindset number 6, forgetting to be playful. And mindset number 7, persistence, meaning you give up too soon. Now, at the start of this, I said, I am a stubborn believer in manifestation. And the reason that I said that, and that I will say it over and over again, is because in order for me to get where I am today, I had to be stubborn. I will give you guys a short rundown of my story if you haven't heard this story before. We're in 2020? So it's been 10 years. So 10 years ago, in May of 2010, I graduated from college for the second time. You guys know what was happening at that point. It was the Great Recession. I graduated with a finance degree. I could not find a job. Like I had 2 degrees. I had a Spanish undergrad and I had just graduated with my finance degree and I could not find a job. I had credit card debt. I had bills that were piling up. I had a $100 cell phone bill. I had a car that I had purchased before when I had a full-time job before I went into school and quit that job like a dummy, but I did it anyway. And everything brought me to where I am today. So I had a car with a car note. It's like $340 a month. I had a $100 a month cell phone bill. I had credit cards that had monthly payments. And I graduated from school thinking that I was going to get hired right away because I had a finance degree. The Great Recession hit and I'm looking around like what do I do? Right. And I remember I was like having my own pity party, right? Feeling so bad. Like, why, like, it's the economy. Like, why did I have to graduate this time? Like everybody else I was looking at other people, right? I had a lot of these mindsets that I already talked about today. I was looking at a lot of other people, like, they're lucky because they didn't graduate into the recession, or like their parents told them what to do, or like they knew not to take on debt, or like someone gave them a car. Like all these things I was like saying in my head that had nothing related to how do I move forward. And finally I was like, you know what? And I don't even know like if there was a conversation or what it was that caused me to just decide. I was like, you know what? I said, I'm just going to take whatever job I can get. And I said, I don't really care anymore about what happened. I don't really care about why I made it here. Like, none of that matters. I'm going to get whatever job I can get, and I'm going to keep working. I'm going to make my money, and I'm going to get out of this. And one day I am going to look back on this and laugh. And I should find that and put that in the Manifest Now bundle. But there's an old Periscope that I did where I talked about the entire story, and I actually read out the people from the finance company who had financed my car. He came to my house. He came to my house and knocked on my door and hand wrote a letter. This was not 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. This was only 10 years ago. The finance manager came to my house and knocked on my door and hand wrote a letter that was like, LaTisha, we have not seen your payment. We don't want to have to take your car. Please bring your account current. That's like a summary of it, but I'm going to find that video and I'm going to put that in the bundle so you guys can watch it. And I remember feeling like I had $50 left in my checking account. And I remember feeling like, what am I going to do? So I got a job at Jimmy John's delivering sandwiches. I started working with a family friend who she had her own business, and I was her personal assistant. I was washing their clothes, folding her and her husband's underwear, washing their sheets, putting them in the dryer, putting them back on their bed, like cleaning her house, going to Publix to go buy stuff for her. Like these things that now I'm like, no one can tell me that they can't get resourceful or that they can't figure it out or that they can't make it happen, because I've been there and I have done what I needed to do to get to where I am now. So I do not believe anybody's sob story or pity story or whatever they have to say. I'm just not. I know what is true. And I know that when you want something, like as long as you are persistent and you're stubborn enough to keep going, like you will get there and you'll make happen what needs to happen. And so I took those 2 jobs and I had to prioritize things, because I was like, all right, I'm applying for jobs and I need my phone so that people can call me back for the job. So I've got to pay the cell phone bill. I don't have enough to pay the car note. So I'm just going to take a gamble and hope they're not going to take my car, because we're in the recession. They really don't want the car. It's not really valued. Like they could get more of it if I just pay it. So I said, I'm just going to call them. So I decided to call them. I called and I said, hey, I'm having some hard times right now, but I just got a job. I'm not going to be like, what can I do? How can I make this work? And I said, I've got, I was thinking like $100 and something. I was like, I've got this much. Should I send this now or should I wait and send the full payment? And I said, I'll have the full payment in another couple of weeks. He said, wait and send the full payment. I said, okay, great. I took what I had and I paid my phone bill so that the phone wouldn't get cut off so that I could, start getting payments. I didn't worry about the credit cards. I was like, they're already delinquent. It's unsecured. Like, I just can't deal with that. My credit's going to be whatever. I just can't deal with that right now. And I started applying for additional jobs. I finally got my first full-time salary job in April of the next year. So I graduated May of 2010 and didn't get a full-time salary job until April of 2011. That was 11 months that I was quote unquote out of work. I was working, delivering sandwiches. That's what I was doing, babysitting. I was pulling money here and there. And I remember when okay, it's all good. When I remember when I got that first job, I remember saying to myself, I'm going to pay these credit cards off. I'm going to pay this card off, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do in order to be successful. I will do whatever it takes. So when I say persistence or lack of persistence as something that is a mindset that's blocking your growth, I'm meaning that you're giving up too soon. You're not willing to do whatever it takes. And you're also you're expecting things to work right away. And there's nothing that says that they can't work right away. I'm not saying that they can't, but if they don't give up. If you know that this is for you and you know that this is where you're supposed to be and you know that this is what you're supposed to do and this is the path that you're supposed to be on, you don't exit the path just because it didn't work right away. you like keep going, especially if you've got somebody guiding you, but you just like, you keep going and you keep going and you keep going, and eventually you will get there. And that's why I said I'm a stubborn believer in manifestation. Like all of my life, I was told I was stubborn. And once I applied it to me being stubborn about my success was when I became successful. I was like, I'm not going to stop trying things. I'm going to try this. It didn't work. I don't care. I'm going to try something else. I just launched this program. Nobody bought it. I don't care. I'm going to launch something else. Like I got to the point where like, I stopped caring so much about my feelings, and I started caring more about my desire. And I just kept going. And I was like, I'm just not going to allow anything to stop me, because if I keep going, eventually, like failure, you are going to wear out. I'm not going to wear out. I'm just going to keep going. So we can just have a stare off. Like, doesn't matter. Okay, good. Another problem. Don't care. I'm going to keep going. Doesn't matter. I will still be here. I'm not going to give up. If I don't give up, I'm going to have to be successful. I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to hire the mentors I have to hire. I'm going to take the action that I need to take. I'll get uncomfortable and do what I need to do. I am not going to give up. Therefore, you cannot continue to fail me. You can't. you just can't. Like failure will never outwork me. It's not as stubborn as I am. I am more stubborn. That's it. That's the end of story. So that is the last piece of that. The final mindset that blocks your growth is like persistence. Okay. You cannot give up. Just keep going. You do have to have a guide. You have to have someone to help you on the way there. And you also have an inner guidance as well, which I have in the Manifest Now bundle. But you just have to keep going. Yep. Just like the Energizer Bunny. Sorry, Allie, I skipped over your question. How did I learn to work online? Oh, that's a good question. It's a very long story, and we're already at the end of this training. So I do have a live stream that I did called 0 to 65,000, where I talked about the story of how I made, how I got to that first step in my coaching journey. But as far as like my online business, like I said, it's a long story. I essentially failed my way forward. I spent money that I didn't have, and I hired before I thought I was ready. Like I bought a course with money that I didn't quite have. I hired a mentor after I got that first client, then I hired a mentor, but it was like everything from that client was going towards that mentor. Like I did everything that financial experts, of which I have been one, will tell you not to do. And I didn't care, because I knew that, like, I knew I was going to be successful, and I knew it was all going to shake out. And like, all I had to do was just keep going. So yeah, I'll definitely share that story at some point in time. So on next weekend is like the day after Christmas. So we are not going to be doing a live stream that day. I'm thinking about doing a pop-up training on like my 2021 planning process. So if you guys would be interested in that, let me know, because if that's the case, we might do something sometime after Christmas, before the first of the year. And I'll do like a little pop-up training and kind of take you guys through the process of like how I plan out my year, launches, even like how I know like what price points to plug into stuff and all that. So just let me know if that would be helpful. In the meantime, I have created what is called the Manifest Now bundle. So the Manifest Now bundle is a collection of audios, videos, and supplemental worksheets, workbooks that will not only help you to create your very own version of a lavish life, but in it, I actually share some of the very first video journal entries that I did when I was starting my business. And let me show you guys, I'm about to pull it up right now, but I want to show you guys a little bit of what is included. I also included a workbook as well. So when you get into the member area, Okay, you guys should be able to see it here. When you get into the member area, the first thing that you get is the actual full workbook. So Manifest Now is all about confidently stepping into the version of yourself who gets exactly what you desire and what you decide to have. We've got several videos in here covering how to set powerful goals, how to manifest faster, rewiring your subconscious, how to manifest through scripting. And I even share copies of like my journal and how I scripted my reality into reality, how to manage fear, listening to your inner guidance. And then this is what's really cool. Let me pause that. You get to watch my manifestation journey. So she kind of looks like me, but like she's like a previous version of me. But in here, what I'm doing is, as I was starting my coaching business, I did a video journal entry. And so I did, I've got 2 of them here, where this one was like the day after Thanksgiving. I'm like in my brother's old room in my parents' house. But like I talk about like exactly what I was doing to bring my manifestation into reality. And so I think it's really cool to not only be able to watch that and see what that's like, but also to get the exercises that I include in there. So I'm doing a special for those of you who are here. If you go to LaTisha.tv/now, what that is going to do is it's going to take you directly to the manifestation bundle. Hang on, don't go there yet because I forgot to put the coupon code on there. It's going to take you directly to the manifestation bundle. Okay. And let me type it. YouTube manifest. And then what it's going to do is it's going to give you an extra special discount on that program. Now, I'm not going to tell you verbally what the discount is or exactly how much it is. Okay. Because for those who are not watching live, they're not going to get the benefit of actually, they weren't here live, so they don't get the benefit. But you can get that pricing. That pricing will be valid all through this weekend. Okay. So hang on a second. Let me fix that for you guys really quick and put that in there. So if you go to LaTisha.tv/now, you will be able to get that with the special pricing. And if for some reason you go there and you're like, hey, it doesn't say that there is a discount of special pricing, then I want you to refresh. Let me copy the URL and put it in here. Okay. And I just put it in there now. All right. So that's going to give you an extra special discount code on that. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me today. I am live every Saturday, exception of next Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I've been really enjoying these live streams and I appreciate you guys joining me. Once again, we cover all things marketing, manifestation. I hope this was helpful for you. This will remain up on this channel as a replay. However, I do often remove live streams and place them into products. So if this is something that you enjoyed, you should watch it over and over again, take notes, because at some point in time, maybe next year in a couple of months, I will likely set it to private and then maybe put it inside of a program or a course. So thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you guys, each and every single one of you. Remember that you can 100% create your own version of a lavish life. Once again, you have to decide. Your dreams deserve your decision and you deserve to achieve your dreams, but only if you decide to do whatever it takes to get there. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one. I am using restream.io. Okay. Bye. And Gina asked for the link in the chat. So yes, there is the link in the chat and it's in there now. Okay. Have a good one.